Hey everyone.
Hello, Nye, and lovely laid back learners. This is going to be a very, very stressful session.
Oh, you're going to be super stressed the whole time. We're kidding. We're definitely kidding.
So, if you're just joining us sort of out of the ether that is the internet, I'm running with my fabulous colleagues, running a free web development boot camp at the moment.
Mhm.
We're just getting started today, actually. Today was the first lesson stream. And what we're doing in these couch-based partner streams is this week we're getting set up with some of the tooling we'll need to do to like do the projects from our free code camp curriculum,
Mhm.
but in the real world, like for real with real world tooling.
Yeah.
And what are we going to go get today? Oh, you're just ready to go.
Oh no, I'm just getting myself ready to go.
Okay, I was excited. You were like, no talking, only
No.
GitHub.
No. So today, everyone, we are so excited to dive into GitHub today. So we're not going to do a big deep dive into it. We're going to have another stream with a special guest where that guest is going to do a really big deep dive into what is GitHub, how do you use it, and different things like that. But today we're going to be doing just a short introduction to creating a GitHub account and then integrating that into the VS Code and the code that we had written last session, yesterday.
Okay. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to go get the link to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go get the link to the video we did last time.
Perfect.
Because what we did
Appreciate
last time is, oh, you explain what we did. Sorry, I'm bossing you
Yeah.
around.
No, not at all. So yesterday we had set up our very first Visual Studio Code instance, if you will, and we downloaded it to our computer, and then we were able to write our first line of code using HTML, which stands again for the Hypertext Markup Language. And so we wrote our first bit of code and that printed out to our browser. And remember, our browser is just like the thing we're watching this in right now. Browser is like Chrome or Firefox or Brave, which I use personally. So it printed out to the browser and it showed the text that we wrote in our code, hello world. So that's what we did yesterday. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is going to be super, super laid back.
Absolutely.
Um, okay, I've got a way I like to
Yeah.
describe what like what GitHub is and what version control
Ooh.
is.
Mhm.
But it's not great. How would you describe what version control is first?
Version control. So we went into this just a tidbit at the end of class yesterday. But so how I would describe version control is I would break it down really by the name. So if you're writing code or if you are doing anything, I'm trying to abstract this out of code for a moment. um, but for example, if you're writing something like using a Google Doc, for example, to write out something. And then you can go and see all the different, you can click a button and see all the different versions or all the different moments in time of how that document has changed. So once you first write it, and then if you're writing it for a month, for example, then you can go and click on the history and see the history of how that document changed. So in a way, version control kind of does something similar, where it keeps track a little bit of the history of your code, the different versions of your code, and how it changes through time. But there's lots of little nitpicks and differences as well in there.
Yeah.
Just how would you describe it?
So actually, I'm stealing this from somebody who said
Mhm.
it yesterday. It's sort of collaborative time travel.
I love that.
So with version control, it's most useful if you're working with other people, but it
Yes.
gives you opportunity to save things in specific points of time
Mhm.
or go back and get past saves. So it feels a little bit like a video game.
It's real cool.
The extra sort of social aspect of GitHub, though, and this is going
Mhm.
to be a very, very old lady take on this, it seems to be so sort of open source and openly available source and the ability to grab and remix and put back
Mhm.
feels a little bit like what some of y'all youngins are doing with duets and remixes on TikTok. So, oh, I
Ooh.
like this. I can pull this,
Yeah.
change it, and push it back out. And these pull push are going to be language we look at. That's the more in-depth GitHub dive is going to be Monday, and it'll start about 2 hours, 3 hours before this time right now if you're watching this live.
Mm. Perfect.
Fab. So, do you
Yeah.
want to do the thing is very vague. What are we going to do today? We're going to find the GitHub website.
Yes.
We're going to create a brand new account.
That's right.
We're not using our real emails. Like we
Mm.
love all of y'all. We trust you. We don't trust the internet.
We love you.
You'd be like, we love you, but wouldn't like give you the keys to my email. And then we're going to take the VS Code install we did yesterday and squish them together. So make it so that we're able to use GitHub commands, which we'll learn about next week. It's fine. Everything's, but then we'll be able to do GitHub commands from VS Code without ever having to touch that terminal that we're still a little bit afraid of.
Yes, exactly. Perfect.
Let's go.
All right, y'all. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. Oh, that's fun.
Oh gosh, I love deep chaos.
Inception. Yes. Okay, so first of all, we're just starting off with an open browser. And as a reminder, we have our code that we wrote yesterday.
Just hiding out there.
Just hiding in the background. So I'm just clicking and dragging this right on top. And okay, so I'm a developer and I'm trying to figure out how do I get to this website called GitHub. All right. So I'm just really going to type in the name of the website into this search engine here. So
I would have just gone for github.com thinking like, oh, they're a big company. Do you think they got the .com?
They do have the .com. So we can also just go straight to our URL and type it in, github.com.
And remember, we learned yesterday that a URL is a unified resource locator.
There we go.
Just sort of a fancy, necessarily technical way to say that little string of letters and characters. Okay. Oh, well, that's all very fancy. We've got some space. That's and we feel okay giving them our information because if we look at the URL bar, it says https github.com. We think GitHub probably lives on github.com.
Yeah, that's right. It's a trusted website. Perfect. Okay, so now we're looking at this this website front page right here. And so what we're looking to do here is actually we're going to be signing up today. So I'm going to move my cursor all the way to the right, which is where the sign up button is. Let me also make this bigger so folks can
do you know what? They put a sign up right in the middle as well.
Oh, look at that. And right there. They've moved it.
And right there.
Yes.
Everything is easy.
Exactly. So we can either, just like Jess said, ooh, very cool. Sign up for GitHub.
Yeah. And these two different things. I think we should talk about these for a second because I think one of them is so usually when something says enterprise, that means that it's for a great big company. Your boss's boss's boss will usually sign up for it. And it usually costs money.
Lots of money, usually.
Whereas the thing we're gonna get a free GitHub account because we don't like to spend money.
Right. Exactly.
So it's probably that purple one, not the black one.
I think so. And I'm just trying to make sure that we're not actually signing up for GitHub Copilot specifically, but just for GitHub. But I think it is just for GitHub. Okay.
And we could talk about Copilot later on. It's just a different thing.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. All right, so we need to put our email address here. And so what I'm going to do is to go grab an email address. What you all will want to do is make sure that you're using an email address that you have access to for the long term.
Your actual email address that you use and check.
Exactly.
Which you should not post in the comments.
Please don't. Yeah, don't post it in the comments. But what I'm going to do just for demonstration purposes is go to grab a temporary email. There's these cool little things called a 10-minute email. So I'm going to go into my, I'm going to go to duckduckco.com and then type 10-minute email. This is a cool little resource if you ever want to sign up for something, but you don't want to get emails in the future from it. It's just a quick little sign up. It's like a throwaway email. So you can have access to it for 10 minutes and that's it. Or you can also like say, hey, get me 10 more minutes. But so this is just an email right here. We're going to copy and paste this.
It's not very easy to remember. It's good that
Oh,
we're
yeah.
probably not going to keep it.
Exactly. And so don't mind all of this, like all these ads in the way, etc. They'll pop up on your screen. But what we really want is just this email right here. And it gives us a nice little countdown for a
And
temporary.
y'all should not be doing this part. We're just doing this because we don't
Exactly.
trust the internet.
That's right. So make sure you're using your actual email for this step here.
Yeah.
And I am going to paste it into this thing. And that is the name of that temporary email. Then I'm going to press sign up for GitHub.
Okay. I'm braced because it's 2023. The world is very stressed.
This is fancy and new. Okay. So it says, welcome to GitHub. Let's begin the adventure. Enter your email. Here, it copied our email from before. And I'm going to press continue here.
That seems fine.
All right.
Ooh.
Now it says to create a password. All right. So I'm just going to create a little password here for folk. And you're going to create your own password here. Oh, needs to make sure it has all these things. That is okay.
And this is a great time while I'm being mean to all of y'all. Do you know what I love for passwords? Is do we love a password manager?
Oh, yes, we do love a password manager.
Because like the temptation to have all your passwords be the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's very bad.
It is. And why is it very bad, Jess?
Oh, well, because like we want to trust systems. Oh, it's 2023. We don't even want to trust systems. But like eventually sometimes things get hacked. It happens.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's bad.
Right.
But if you use the same password on all of your different accounts, it means that if there is a leak of passwords, anybody who gets that leak will say, oh, this person used this password with this email address. I'm going to go check other accounts and see if they use the same password.
Yeah. So they can, instead of just having access to one of your accounts now, they can have access to most, if not all of your accounts, if you use the same password every time.
Yeah, which we're not going to do.
Exactly. That's right. Because we're smart. We're making good choices. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to press continue here. And then we're going to also create a username for this. So this username that I'll do will be called Couchbase and then Bad Website Club all together.
All right. We'll probably remember this, even though we don't have the email address, so we won't be able to get back into this. So this is academic. This is cheerfully academic.
Exactly.
Oh, unless you saved this password. Well, not being able to get into the email address will definitely continue to pose a problem.
True. And we do have this email for 10 minutes and we can ask to get 10 more minutes after those 10 minutes are up. But for now, in the future,
everything's fine. Everything's going to
be great
within the confines of the stream. Everything's fine.
All right, I'm going to go and press and continue here. Ooh, very cool.
Oh, I like the sort of text video game feel.
It's nice.
Although this is a trap when it says, "Do you want to do?"
Oh,
this feels a lot like, "Do you want email marketing?"
Exactly. And I'm going to say N for no.
We're good. We are already sold into using the main product. We probably don't need like announcements, especially this email address.
Right. All righty. And now it says to verify my account. So protecting your account, please solve this puzzle so that we know you're a real person. This is interesting. Okay. Yeah. We're going to click on that.
I've done this before.
Yeah. So use the arrows to rotate the animal to face the direction of the hand. So I'm just going to use these two arrows over here and make the animal face the direction. Perfect. It's aligned. Perfect. And then I'm going to press submit here.
These keep getting weirder and weirder. I love weird.
Weird's the best. All right. We got a check. So let's go on and press create account here. All right. We don't want to save that. You're almost done. So we've sent a launch code to the email, enter the code. So I'm going to go back to my 10-minute email that I created, and then we'll see this inbox number changed from 0 to 1. So now I'm going to scroll down and see where that email is. Perfect. It's right here in my inbox.
Your
And click.
very temporary inbox.
That's right. Exactly. Remember your very temporary inbox. So don't use this process. Use your actual email.
Oh, so
And
this and don't
mhm,
do like us. Never ever share these codes.
right.
So we gotta race and hope that we get through there before anybody
For
else is
someone
able.
else. But they don't have my password, so they shouldn't be able
Ah,
to use it. Ta-da! Beautiful. We are
so
in.
here's some sort of marketing questions. Although the
Mhm.
student one is good because if you're a student, they give you a student pack.
They do, which is always great. Okay.
I'll be working with you, so that's two.
Alrighty. Are we a student or a teacher? A little bit of both. I think everyone's our way.
Yeah, yeah.
But what should we say
For
here?
now, we're just us, just NA.
Okay, perfect.
I don't know if non-traditional students get the pack, but I just say yes and let them
Mm,
send it to you anyway.
that's right.
What are we interested in? I think for right now, let's just do the collaborative coding. Like all
Yep.
this advanced stuff, we could talk about it next year or in 2 years or in
Exactly.
12 years.
Yeah, that's perfect. And let me minimize that. Wonderful. Okay. So yeah, you see lots of different options here, but right now we're just going to click collaborative coding and then click continue down here. All right.
Yeah,
And I'm just making the screen smaller so we can see all or most of the text that's on it. Cool.
very easy.
Fancy, fancy. All right. So, of course, Jess and I, as y'all know, we are folk who do not want you to pay for almost anything if you can. So we see that there's a free option and then a team option. We're always going to recommend doing free things, free software for everyone. So
Unlimited public and like repositories are like little empty boxes for your code.
exactly where you can
Little
put your
happy
code in.
houses.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that. Yeah, little happy houses for your code. Perfect. Cool. Yep, all these free things sound good to us. So we're going to click continue for free. Whoa, going through space. This is gorgeous, GitHub. Y'all did a great job initializing your dashboard. Sweet. Okay, this looks like a lot, but hold up with us. We got
Okay. Do we have to do any oh, wait.
you.
Do we have to do any of this now? So this is asking us, do we want to make an empty box for our code?
Exactly. That's all that this is asking. Start a new repository is the same thing as do you want to make an empty box / an empty house for your code, a
Yeah.
place to put your code
And
on
you
GitHub.
can have a bunch of different little houses or
Mhm.
little cubby holes for your code.
Yes. Yeah.
So I want our code from yesterday
Mm-hmm.
to live in that little box.
All righty.
I can
So
think of a couple ways we might be able to do that.
yeah, hit me.
So we could make a new repository
Mm-hmm.
and then we could recreate the files and then we could copy and paste them over.
Okay.
But I think that might be a lot of extra steps.
Gotcha.
Do we want to try that just to see how that feels? So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
And then
always
we
good
could do the
practice.
hard way.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
So right now we're just going to use the interface here.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is copy and paste. I guess for the new the repository should usually have a really good name so you know what it is right away.
Yeah.
But all of our repositories we're making now is going to have the exact same stuff in it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So you wanted us to use the name copy and paste for
We could do. I'm not too
that is
prescriptive.
fine. That is fine. Okay. So we're going to name this repository copy and paste. Perfect. And then we'll make it public or private.
Public so folks can go and see because we could drop it right in the chat.
I love that. That's perfect. Okay. And we'll make it public and then we'll press create a new repository.
Yeah.
Ooh, fancy, fancy. Alrighty.
Okay.
So now you
This
see
looks
it here.
very fancy.
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
So setup in desktop, quick setup if you've done this kind of thing before.
Mhm.
So here's the thing. We haven't.
Exactly.
And we talked yesterday, we briefly touched on Oh, hey, the terminal's kind of scary. The command line and the terminal are the same thing.
Right.
And this is showing us the kind of like hacker looking text that we would see people use. This
Yeah,
seems a little bit advanced.
I agree.
Hmm. Let's skip this maybe
Mm-hmm.
and just go into where would we create a new file?
Let's see. I think I'm trying to figure out whether we can do the setup in, oh, that's if you've done it before. Get started by creating a new file.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Love it. Ta-da! This is
So
perfect.
here, last time we named our index. Oh, we named our index index.
Mm-hmm. Index.html. Perfect. So we're going to do the same for here. Index.html. Perfect. And then I'm going to click into this white space here. And then it says enter your file contents here, which just means plop your code down in this space.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is I will move this over and I will go get our index.html code. I'm going to copy and paste it. So I'm going to highlight the whole thing. Command C if you're on a Mac. Or you can just highlight and then actually right click and then go to copy. And then I'm going to bring it right back over to our GitHub page and press Command V if you're on a Mac, or as we said, you can right click and paste.
Yeah.
And it's all the same. Sweet. All right, so we have it. And now,
Oh, Cesium makes a good point. I'm not allowed to click and show this, but Cece makes a good point that we could have
ooh,
uploaded this file as well. How about we'll copy and paste this one? How about we
mhm,
upload our style CSS, even though that's completely blank?
I like that. I think that's perfect. Great idea. Thank you, Cecia. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So for this one, since we have the code, this is all the code from the index.html. The next step is this big green button over here that says commit changes. Now that looks like, I don't know what that means. Does that mean like go, like put it to GitHub? It does. It's all the same.
Because like commit means to commit.
That's right. Like we're committing to this. We're saying, yes, this is our code. And don't worry, we can change it later. But we're saying for this version, this is what I want. Put it onto GitHub.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to press the button and it says, yes, do that. Create index.html. So commit message is the message that, how would we describe a commit message?
So I always think of when I commit something, I'm
Mm-hmm.
giving the code, I'm
Mm-hmm.
turning the code in. I
Yep.
always think about this as the little note on.
I
So if you
like
give
that.
somebody flowers, you're not just like, here.
Right.
You write a little thing on a card and you say, oh, here's the information about this gift I've just given. The code I turn in is rarely a gift.
Exactly.
Oh, Ahmad points out a label of our changes. That's so much more
Oh,
consistent and good.
that is perfect. Thank you, Ahmad. Exactly. A label for our changes. So other people know what this code does. And it describes it that way. So that's perfect. Yes. Thank you so much, Laura. A commit message is like a subject line for your email.
Laura, stop it. We were
Always.
like, "Oh, it's
I'm
like this," or
kidding.
"It's like that." Laura's like, it's like this."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Laura's always on it. Laura Langdon. Go ahead. That's perfect. Okay. So yes, we think of the commit message as like the subject line in the email. It describes the code or it just says like it gives a little summary of what that code is or does or whatever. So this commit message, it can say just create the name of the file, which is index.html, or we can make it be a little bit more descriptive. So we can change this commit message to be this was just like
I mean, create index.html is create index.html. That seems fine.
it is what it is. Okay, so let's do that. Next.html. Perfect. I think extended descriptions are optional, so we don't need to include them. Cool.
Oh, they're optional.
Yeah,
I usually do them. Be like, oh, here's what I was thinking, and but this we're sending in this code, and we don't have to send a full email in as well.
right. That's exactly correct. All right. So I'm going to now go down here and press commit changes, and we'll see what happened. Okay. Now it might look like your code has vanished. You're like, what has happened? Where is it? But
I see a file here, just like a folder. I'm not stressed out at all.
good, 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 good. Exactly. So this is actually, as you can see, this is clickable, both things. And this is actually the file for our index.html. So we can click into it and we'll see our code. It's right there. No worries.
Amazing.
Yeah. Love it. All right.
So
So I'm going to go back. Yeah.
let's see if we can add a file. I see that add a
Mm-hmm.
file up there. I
Here in the
think we can
corner.
upload a file as well.
We
Oh, upload
can.
files. Would it
Perfect.
be yeah, is it okay to test that out to see how that
Absolutely.
feels? So just
Absolutely.
another way to get that sorted.
Ooh, super cool. All right. So now we have the option to upload a file. If they say we can drag and drop or we can choose a file. So what I'm going to do is just choose one of our files. So I'm going to press that button and then go into our hello world. Now remember, we're like in our computer itself and we're going to go into our hello world folder. I'm going to click into that. And then it gives us our two files that we had created yesterday.
Yeah.
So either the index.html or the style.css. And the style.css is the one that we want to upload today. So I'm going to click that one and then press open down here.
Easy, easy.
Easy, easy. And we see it was uploaded right here, but not officially, not yet. It's just like, it's just telling you, okay, you wanted the style.css, it's here.
Oh, I think we've got to let go of Laura, who's still stuck on our main page. I love looking at Laura, but I bet she.
Thank you. Perfect.
Oh, we've got a really good question from Dylan who says, hey,
Mm-hmm.
when you create a file,
Mm-hmm.
does Dylan, sorry, does GitHub automatically recognize the type of file? So the file
Mm,
extension, if it's a .html, will it know? If it's a .css, it'll know. I think yeah, it should,
yeah,
unless you give it such a strange file extension that it hasn't seen it before,
right.
which I believe in you, y'all can do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to know what's going on.
Yep. Exactly. So as long as you make sure that you notate when you create the file what type of file it is, then GitHub will say, okay, you told me it's a CSS file, then it is a CSS file. And
Yeah,
so it reads it.
everything's fine.
Yeah. Perfect.
So we've got those, and we could do the exact same thing again, commit these
Mhm.
changes, added files. Oh, we could say added styles CSS.
Yep. Added style dot CSS. And then don't need an optional description.
We can just skip it. And we're
Mhm.
not going to address this right now, but
Mhm.
what we're doing, where we're committing stuff to the main branch,
Yep.
GitHub isn't just, or Git isn't just time travel, and it's not just remixes. It's also a tree.
Yes.
Hmm. And what we're doing right now is we only have one copy of our code as we work right now.
Mhm.
And committing stuff to main is usually kind of bad manners.
Mm.
But I do it.
Yeah.
I sometimes do it at work, and no one can, I mean, they can
It's okay.
absolutely stop me.
It's all right.
But that's going to be something we talk about on Wednesday. It's fine. Or,
Yeah.
nope, heck, next Monday.
Next Monday. Exactly. So yeah, y'all will get the breakdown on why to avoid committing directly to the main branch and trying to actually, just like Jess described it, as a tree, wanting to commit your code to a branch of the tree, not the main tree trunk of the tree, because we can then put the branch into the main tree trunk and have that be your final thing eventually. But try to make sure that we're having it on a particular branch. But that's in the future. We're going to learn about that more.
Yeah.
Awesome. So just for today, we're going to commit it directly to the main branch. Cool. I'm going to press this commit, processing the files. Remember, this is a little different process because we did upload instead. And then ta-da! Now we have both.
Everything's easy.
Mm-hmm.
But what we were going to do, we were going to go ahead and connect this to our VS Code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I think I'm gonna go there's some documentation for that.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
I've dropped it into the private chat. You're gonna have to put it in the comments so everybody can see it. I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
I got you. Beautiful.
I'm gonna follow these instructions too.
Hmm.
Connect the Visual Studio Code that we've gotten yesterday to GitHub, which we've just gotten a whole minute ago.
Boom. I love it. Okay, so let me grab. And just can you throw that into the private chat as well? I didn't grab
Oh,
it.
it is right here.
You're the best.
Everything is fine.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Do we want to put that up on the screen?
Yeah, we could do.
Okay.
Aha. So we've
Very
got, can
cool.
you embiggen this a little
Of
bit?
course I can.
So GitHub, here's what's GitHub, get started. Aha. Okay, we need to install Git.
Mm.
Okay, so we do have to touch the terminal and it's going to be a little bit scary.
Yeah, but it's okay. Don't be scared, everyone. I'm just squashing that over.
Yeah.
Okay, 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 okay. All right. So working with GitHub versus in VS Code. So GitHub's cloud-based, da 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 da. Getting started, install GitHub pull requests and extensions. They say, or the Git command line thing. So you said, Jess, we will need to
So it
use a
says
Git.
to get
Oh,
started with GitHub and VS Code, you'll need to
mhm.
install Git,
Yep. Create a GitHub.
create a Git.
Gotcha.
So maybe we can install Git without using the command line? Hmm.
I think so. Let's see.
I'm just being real careful too.
Yep.
Yeah. I'd be like, we don't have to do it. It might be fun to try it and see. So let's try the documentation for Git.
Yep.
And actually, you're working, almost everybody's computer might have Git built in these days. Am I
It,
wrong?
they
It might.
might. Depends.
So it looks like we could just download. It looks like I can push. It looks like one could push the Mac OS button and
Yeah,
download Git.
exactly. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, and then there's some installation instructions. Let's see, binary, installing Git GUI. Okay. So this looks like we would have to do it via the terminal. Binary
Uh,
install.
and I don't think we've used the term yak shaving yet.
Oh, we have not. Can you
So
let
this
folks
is a
know?
little yak shavy. So this is saying, oh, to install Git, you need to install Homebrew
Mm-hmm.
first or macOS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just going to click into Homebrew and installing that first.
Yeah.
Okay. So this Homebrew is the missing package manager for Mac OS or Linux.
Which is a nice passive aggressive way to say, hey, this should just come with your computer.
Yeah.
So don't freak out when it says, oh, if you have X, you can do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it means you just need to go get X. And here,
Yeah.
X is Homebrew.
Yes, that's correct.
So we are going to have to open up our terminal. It's
Mm-hmm.
not going to hurt us and
Mm-hmm.
everything's fine.
Everything's going to be fine. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to my Finder and then I'm going to go to my applications and look for what looks like the terminal. And I think it might be in my utilities. Here we go. Yes. So we're looking for this particular icon here and I'm going to double click in order to get into it.
And this is
Okay.
if you're using a Mac. If you're using a Windows machine, you should be able
Mhm.
to search for command line or terminal, and it either should pop up.
That's right.
If you're using Linux, you know you're using Linux and you're fine.
Exactly.
I'm picking on Linux because Linux is like, you've got to go in and intentionally install it, and most folks who've gone out of their way to install it already have some familiarity and comfort with the console.
That's right.
But if you have Linux and you don't, that's chill. We got you sorted as well.
It's okay.
So look how scary this is.
Yeah. You're like, what is this? What is my computer doing? But remember, just like we said yesterday, this is like the back end of your computer. This is just you're still in your computer. It just doesn't look as pretty as it would when we're just working through either the browsers or various
Oh,
parts of our computer.
Cesium points out that on Windows, we would want to search for Command Prompt or PowerShell, which
Hmm.
is immensely metal sounding.
Yes, but it's very cool. I loved working with PowerShell when I was on Windows. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty. So let's install Homebrew. This looks wild, but we're just going to press this copy button right here, copy it, check it has been copied, and we're just going to paste it over here. Just going to go in and command V, paste, boop, and now it's going to do some things. So this here, this word is saying checking for sudo access. And what sudo access means, and this is a lot for folk, but checking for sudo access, what sudo means is it's checking for admin access. So it's just telling you to put in the password to your computer in order to ensure that we can do this whole thing, that you have access to do this whole thing. So I'm going to put in the password to my computer, press enter, and then boom. Okay. So press return/enter to continue, or any other key to abort. So I'm going to press return to continue. It's downloading a whole bunch of things. It might be a little scary, but everything is fine right here. It's just going to take a couple minutes to download this Homebrew.
Everything's easy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Boom. We are done. So as you can see, it just gives us a little bit of information here, and we can pull this down to see it all. But it says installation successful. You are all set.
And that's the big thing. When you're doing stuff in the terminal, which we can learn a little bit about later, it won't hurt
Mhm.
us.
Right.
A lot of times it can be big and scary that, oh, hey, here's all of this information. But the only thing we care about is installation successful.
Exactly. That's the main key.
So to get Git, it first sent us to go get Homebrew,
Mhm.
but it said installation successful for Homebrew. We feel okay.
We feel
Oh,
good.
wait, next steps. Run these 2 commands in your terminal to add Homebrew to your path.
All right. So let's oop, copy and paste it on over. Boop. And then it says run brew help to get started. Okay, so now I just copy and pasted this whole little thing that is said. And then I'm going to paste it here. Okay.
Oh, it's taking a second. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it
I think
hasn't
it's,
taken a second at all. It's done.
yeah, I think it's done. So let me just make sure that it works by typing in brew, BREW, help, to make sure that that was successful.
Oh, it's
Yes.
showing us the help in the menu.
All the help
Nothing's
things.
wrong ever. And if something was wrong, we could take the error message, copy and paste it, and
Yep,
search for that. It wouldn't hurt us.
exactly. Search for that in Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever.
Bing exists.
That's right. Bing. Exactly. Sweet. All right. So Brew is now installed, or Homebrew is now installed on our computer. So this is perfect. Now we should be able to go back to Git and just run this command in our terminal yet again. So we'll see that we're here in the terminal. It looks a little confusing, but what we're going to do is copy and paste this up until that little dollar sign.
Yeah, because the dollar sign just saying, hey, use this.
Yes. Yeah. It tells you, the dollar sign tells you, hey, do this in your terminal. Okay. So we're going to type that in and
We
let it
lied
cook.
yesterday. We were saying, hey, you don't have to worry about the term.
I
Look
know.
how satisfying this is. I love the little like lines filling up.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's all working. Things are happening. Things are cooking. Things are brewing, everyone.
So this is just saying get. Oh,
And we're
so
done.
we're just looking for running Git.
That's right.
Okay, so this seems we don't have an error message. Nothing's
Nope.
gone wrong. So we think
Nope.
this might have worked.
I think it did.
Okay. So should we tap back to the instructions? So install Git.
Mm-hmm. Create a
Git's
GitHub,
installed. We've created a GitHub account.
which we
And then
did.
install the GitHub pull requests and issues extension.
Okay.
Um, and if you have ever used like a browser extension,
Mm-hmm.
Or a browser add-on. I am duty bound to reframe that. It's going to
Yes.
be the same kind of thing, but it lives in our text editor instead of living on Firefox or Brave or
Yes.
Safari or Chrome.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's true. All right. So I'm going to click into there. I'm just going to open a link in a new tab. All right. It's GitHub pull requests and issues. Pull requests and issues provider for GitHub. So do we want to do this in VS Code, or is this a VS Code extension?
I think it's a VS Code extension.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'll want to do then is open up our VS Code. I'm going down here. And then how you find like, now where do I download extensions? So we're going to go into this section right here. And if we hover over these icons, they give us particular names. And this section says extensions. And that's the one we want to click.
Okay.
I want to click that one. And then a reminder of what we're looking for. It's called the GitHub pull requests and issues.
Yeah.
I just copied and pasted the name, and I'm going to put it in there. Move this over so we can see it. This is the one. 13 million
Amazing.
installs.
13 million. All right. That sounds like maybe a couple people trust this.
That's right. Just a couple. Perfect. So I pressed install, and so now it has installed. All right.
So we don't have to like. I was going to. We don't have to do anything to make them friends. Like, is there anything else the documentation says?
Let's take a look. Minimize this, and then go back. All right. In this topic, we'll demonstrate how you'd want to use some of your favorite parts without leaving VS Code. If you're new to source control, you can start with the source control topic. Here's some resources for folk. And if you have that, this looks dope. I'll just drop it in the chat. Cool.
Everything's fine.
Love it. All righty. And then, okay, so it looks like if we were to go over back to VS Code, let's get out of this little extensions thing. So I'm going to exit this out. And then see, we're in the extensions tab. Now we have this new cool little icon that's the GitHub tab. So I'm going to click into it. And it says no repositories found. All righty. Well, first, what I want to do is to sign into GitHub via VS Code, but it didn't even give us that option.
So there's got to be something we need to do with the extension, maybe? Because here it says you have not yet signed up. I think when you were in VS Code, let's
go to that documentation.
I think, is there a little tiny, can we embiggen this?
Absolutely.
Sorry, my little old lady eyes.
Oh, of course.
I think there's a little tiny cog there.
Let's see where. Make this tiny. Oh, right here. Okay. Extension settings, workplace.
Yeah, maybe extension settings?
Let's try it. Okay.
Sorry, it's just I'm just frowning out loud.
Same. Let's see.
Okay, this doesn't look like what we need.
It doesn't. So I'll get out of there. Code actions. Getting started. Okay.
Getting started.
Great. They should have had that first. Okay. So install
this.
Which we did.
Open your desired GitHub repository in VS Code. Okay, so we need to create a repository. So we're going to have to do more stressful stuff. So we're going to have to, we'll have to show folks how to make a new repository. Somebody's asking, hey, do you peeps use Linux? Decidedly not at the moment.
Right. And Laura had just asked, what happens if we click on the branch tab in the left sidebar? Let's take a quick look over there. Hey. Okay.
Oh.
Laura, you're the best. Always.
The folder currently doesn't have a so this feels weird because we did go and
Mm-hmm.
we put this like but
Not talking yet.
yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's so much more professional. I was like, "Oh, but they can't kiss yet." Um, but they'll conceptually be the same person, so that's sort of weird.
Yeah. And thank you, Ahmad, as well. Maybe you
Oh,
should need to
look at
click the third
that.
icon on the left. You're
Infinitely
right. Y'all
patient.
are the best. I love it.
So, let's go ahead and let's turn let's click the little branchy doofer,
Hmm.
which is kind of the informal logo for so let's initialize a repository.
Yep.
And this is saying, "Hey, we've got this." So, ooh, changes to. So
Yes.
this is saying, and this is kind of the harder version, what I thought we might get to eventually.
Hmm.
Last time we copied and pasted and manually updated. This is
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, I don't know about your repositories.
Exactly.
Let's commit all of these all over again."
Yeah.
Oh, Cesium makes a good point. Says, do you know what? I think if we initialize it, I think if we create a repo out of this code, that we're going to be left with two repos with the exact same code.
You're exactly correct.
Perfectly, immeasurably correct.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think I'm pretty chill with two repos with the same code that
Yeah.
we've
For now.
made different ways. It's
Exactly.
not beautiful, but it's harmless.
Yeah. I agree. So that's right. We'll have two different repos with the same code, made two different ways. So it's good
Yeah.
that we can know how the various ways that we can make a repository. And repo is short for repository.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Just a reminder. Yes, me too. I was like, oh, I'm using repo. Probably need to know what that is. So yeah, these would be two different ways that you're creating repositories.
And we might
And
need to
that's okay.
hustle through this just a little bit because in
Yes,
10 minutes, we've got
I
another.
know.
Sorry.
That's right. No, that's perfect. So, okay, so we're going to press commit here. Okay, and it says there are no stage changes to commit. Would you like to stage all of your changes and commit them directly?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is just different language for you going to put this all domain.
Ah,
So
a
in Git,
reminder.
yeah. So in Git in our terminal,
Hmm.
we've got three different friends, none of whom are talking to each other.
Yes.
So we can either try and hustle through that today,
Mm.
or it might make sense to go ahead and wait and do this either
Yeah.
next week, maybe.
Yep. Yep.
Let's see if we could just get through setting up Git and making sure Git knows who we are on GitHub.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we're going
And
to
if we
put a
don't get
pause
through
in
it, it's
this.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we'll put a pause on this, everyone. And when the incredible GitHub specialists come through, I think on Monday, then y'all
Yes.
will dive into this entire process a lot more because we are short on time. So just sit back with us, sit on the couch, take a little break, and we're going to make sure that you have Git installed or Git running perfectly first before we continue with this process for
Yeah.
linking GitHub to VS Code. So I'm going to press
All easy. All chill.
cool. Cool. All right, so I'm going to press cancel. I'm going to minimize this, and then I'm going to go back to our terminal. Remember, things just look a little much right now, but that's okay. But just to make sure that Git is properly installed, I'm just going to type the name of the thing, Git, and press enter and see. Okay, wonderful. All of these different helpful things came up. It says the ways that you can use it. Here's some common Git commands. Lots of different options here. I'm going to expand this terminal so folk can see as well, make it a little bit bigger. So Git exists and Git works because we downloaded it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's doable.
Okay. Is there anything else that we wanted to do with Git specifically?
I think we were going to try and tell Git, set our username and password in Git.
Got you. Okay, so we're going to go through that process. Okay.
Oh, we can do.
So, let's
Do you
do
think we
it.
could do it in 10 minutes?
I think so. I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
if we're going to need like keys
There's
and
no
stuff.
pressure. Everything's fine.
Yeah. All right, let's try and see. So it gave us the error and it said that we needed to set our username and password in Git. So I'm just going to go to a little search engine, set username and password in Git. So this, if you're like, I don't know how to do that, you're just going to go into your search engine and then put in that information. And then look, we have the GitHub docs on saying how to set our username in Git, which is great.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
easy.
Yay. All right. So setting your Git username for every repository. Oh, and let me drop this in the chat as well so folks have access to it. Beautiful. All right. So it says open up our terminal, which we already have open, and then how to set our GitHub username. So set your Git username. All right. So now we're going to go over and copy and paste, but we should know that this little Mona Lisa here is just example text. So
it's not going to hurt us. We don't need to include it. Everything's fine.
Right, exactly. So you're going to put in whatever username that you have. And so what I'm going to do is put in the username for my computer here. Git global username. I'm just making sure it told us to set up our Git username, not GitHub information in here.
Oh, this might be something that we have to go ahead and do next time. That's
I think that's the thing.
You, when I said, "Oh, let's go ahead and do it now," you made the most polite. Yes. Okay,
it might take a little longer. Yeah.
In our description and when we chatted in the Discord. Oh gosh, where's that Discord? What we said is we would get signed up, and we've got Git signed up. I'm okay with that. That's
exactly
chill. We'll go ahead and do the rest of this Monday, and the stuff we haven't done yet isn't going to hurt us till then.
Right.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Okay.
Fabulous. So we're going to go ahead and escape. Yes. If those of you who are just, I'm done with Git, I'd like some more HTML. We're going to be starting a optional guest session back on the main YouTube for the Bad Website Club. So if you could drop that in the chat, I'm not allowed.
Of course. Gotcha. And this is when?
In about 8 minutes.
Oh, yes. Perfect. Yeah, I got you. So here we are. Going to drop this into the chat so that y'all have it.
Super easy. And for those of you who are already hanging out there over there, you're already there.
Yeah.
Fabulous. I'll let you go. I will see you again tomorrow to talk about Netlify and what deployment means. Like we've had a website that that's local, that lives in a folder on our computer. And we have one that's on GitHub, and we can deploy stuff to GitHub, and we'll learn about that on Monday.
Right.
But we need to learn how to push those files out into the ether.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So everyone has access to it. And you can create a URL for it. So just like creating a website.
A gift. I will let you go. I hope you have the easiest possible time, and I will chat to you tomorrow.
All right.
And learners, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. See y'all tomorrow. Have a good one.